Well, such is the strength and depth of this group that Scotland don't pick on reputation anymore, as Brian Easton said recently, and as this pack in scorching form epitomises. If Helen Nelson and Lisa Thompson can reignite their seemingly telepathic relationship, this backline ought to really sing, and is without doubt one of the quickest in the game. And now to Sean Lynn's first Wales team sheet, but with some familiar faces. 5 of today's squad were in his final selection at Gloucester Hartpury. Speaking of, both Kate Williams and Bethan Lewis were downing Saracens just last weekend, for which luckily their back row colleague Georgia Evans seems to have forgiven them. Skipper Hannah Jones and vice-captain Kira Bevan sandwich a tantalising new playmaking axis of Lakey George and Kaylee Powell, whilst Jazz Joyce loves a stage. She is a game breaker. Six-2 split on the bench for Scotland, boasting Jade Conkle, who's been in towering form for Harlequins, whilst Jones, Pearce, Rose and Crabb are all returning from lengthy layoffs and will be hoping to find some of their own.
45 seconds.
Special moments within a special tournament, a debut for Bristol's Holly Cunningham, as Granny Gwenda, born in Aberdeen, watches on in her brand new Scotland jersey. She's not the only bear north of the border. Lana Skeldon, Emma Orr, Eliane Clark, Evie Gallagher, all prowling the hive, whilst the Wales family watch on. Sean Lynn was giddy at the Six Nations launch at the talent at his disposal. It's a full Six Nations for Kat Roach. She will oversee proceedings today with Jess Ling and Shanda Asmus, her assistants, and Ollie Kellett, our TMO.
Okay.
Scotland in blue. And playing from left to right, Wales all in red and entering a new era. We know these are close, we know these get heated, and we know this one really, really matters. Scotland versus Wales at the Hive. Here we go. The kickoff is deep, and it's Leah Brebner Holden, so new to that 9 jersey, who ships it on to Rachel Malcolm, and then in turn Sarah Bonner.
Use it!
There she is again, but this time it's back into the
In front,
pocket.
back up!
Helen Nelson, standoff hoofs, that long. It looked to have found touch, but in the end it skittled up and onto Jazz Joyce, who heads into heavy traffic. The triple Olympian, looking to make it a triple of World Cups this summer. Maisie Davies, loose head. And this, Georgia Evans, fresh off that bruising defeat in the PWR, the Premiership Women's Rugby Final for Saracens, channeling her efforts, her disappointment into something fresh. And here goes Lisa Neumann, scragged just beyond the 10-metre line, the winger. But an early glimpse at what Sean Lynn promised us in the week. This is a side with a lethal backline, and they plan to get them involved more this year. Just 7 tries in 2024. They look to surpass that tally, to entertain, to take the license to inspire that he has given them by the scruff of the neck, and for the next 80 minutes, beat Scotland around the head with it.
You're in the 22.
Flat.
Voice of Siwan Lillicrap, former skipper of this Welsh outfit alongside me. I've got Heather Lockhart too, and we'll hear from her in just a moment, but let's have a look at what Wales might do here through their strike weapon, Jazz Joyce, up to the 22. The first 2 minutes dominated by the visitors, and it's a carry from Alau Pers on her first start in red to the short side. Kira Bevan with that crisp, distinctive service. Jogs around, goes again, picking out a Scotland player. Ball skittles loose. Maisie Davies had eyes for it.
Knocked on in the field of play, scrum.
But it's knocked on. It's gathered safely by Anne Youngs, and Scottish fans, including Heather Lockhart, can breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, absolutely outstanding passes of play there. I'm not sure, I think it did go to touch, but play on from the exit play there from Scotland, and a wonderful set play there. Sean Lynn said they were going to look for their back three, and that's exactly what they've done. Longer passes through Kayleigh Powell, and Maisie Davis, MVP in the Under-20 Somerset Series, absolutely outstanding there, and just knocking on there just on the try line. But outstanding play there from Wales, Siwan.
Yeah, class play. You know, they've done exactly how he said they would start. The ball in Karis Cox's hands, the ball in Lisa Neumann's hand, edge to edge. But what is impressive is they started on the halfway, they've gone all the way down to the 22, and Kira Bevan just doing what she's done best all year, sniping around that breakdown.
What a shove that is from the Scarlet Pack before us, and they win the penalty on Scotland's footing.
Absolutely huge there by Wales. We've got our young front row, their first starts, Maisie Davis, Jenny Scoble, but Karis Phillips there on her 80th cap, and the second rows as well, Alau Pearce as well, again on our first season start. Phillips just going, but they've had the dominance, and they're kicking to the corner. George happy to put it in the corner for the line out.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? Gone straight to the corner, didn't even look at the sticks. Back in their driving maul, which has always been a weapon for Wales. Sean Lynn mentioned in his pre-match interview, didn't he? The forwards' dominance in set piece.
Safely down by Abby Fleming, and might we be looking at the first score of the Sean Lynn era? It's Phillips on her 80th at the base. Momentum stymied for the time being by the blue defensive wall before them, but now Kira Bevan gets it out and ships it to Kayleigh Powell, the inside centre. What a start this has been. Kate Williams, who struck first in the final for Gloucester Harbury at the weekend, and now Karis Phillips will light the touch paper on Wales's 2025 Guinness Six Nations campaign. And the Welsh travelling support before us roar their approval.
Yeah, great start by Wales, isn't it? 5 minutes in, points on the scoreboard, dominant in set piece, scrum, penalty, good line out. And then you see Karis Phillips on her 80th cap. She knows where that try line is. There's only one place she's going. But what I like, you've seen Kayleigh Powell come short as well. She's not just going to be a playmaker today, she's hitting those short lines as well.
Vice-captain Kira Bevan dissects the uprights like a dream, just as she did in Whangarei when she defeated Scotland in the World Cup, just as she has done in so many clutch moments.
Yeah, absolutely pivotal there. Bevan to Phillips, absolutely instrumental for Wales. Phillips was doing that in the warm-up. They were going through the processes, and Bevan, 5 from 6 last year, the best kicking stats with O'Brien. So outstanding start there.
Inside.
Pragmatism from Kaylee Powell, returned back up to that 10-metre line. You're nodding your approval, Siobhan.
Yeah, absolutely. Not overplaying, isn't it? And that's what Sean Lynn's about. Earn the right licence to play, but he's very technical and tactical in the right areas at the right time.
And at last, in the 7th minute of this opening fixture, we see Scottish hands on the ball. And now, beneath darkening Edinburgh skies, they will get to work. The roar as Emma Orr gets her hands on it. Returning from that debilitating ankle injury, the offload from Gallagher onto McGee with those twinkling toes, and more dazzling still are those of Chloe Rolling.
Hands away!
Scotland into the 22, the little no-look from Lana Skeldon. Gorgeous from Sarah Bonner, picks out the debutant who thunders into Hannah Jones. Brebna Holden whipped that onto Nelson, who shaped for the pass, but instead opted to ride the contact, and Rachel McLaughlin, fresh off the plane from Montpellier, where she is going about her own bruising business, thrusts that one backwards as the Scots come again. Or in at first receiver. That means there's a playmaker out there somewhere, but they've got no space to work with because Hannah Jones has just hurtled from the defensive line. Nelson out wide. This is McGee. 4 tries in 2024 in a blue jersey. Turnover, Wales.
Yeah, outstanding there play by Scotland. That's very much the start, as you said, in the 7th minute there, but got the control. Fran McGee, absolutely outstanding. Had pneumonia this time last year, again already adding impetus there, and great to see Emma Orr getting her hands on the ball, and also the second rows combining that lovely offload in the middle. Holly Cunningham looking really robust.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's good to see Scotland get through the phases, isn't it? The first 5-6 minutes was all Wales, really. But credit to the Welsh defence, and is that a bit of a sign of what Dan Murphy has brought in? They were comfortable with between the 10-metre and the 22. Scotland really not going anywhere, and then Abby Fleming getting over the ball for that turnover. Excited to see what Dan Murphy brings to this side from a defensive perspective.
Water off, please! Water off! Water off, please! Thank you.
And coming in just this week, announced only yesterday afternoon, Dan Murphy, someone who Sean Lynn knows so well. Forwards coach at Gloucester Hartpury, but he's in a defensive capacity here, trading cherry and white for just straight up scarlet. Someone who brings so much energy and warmth to proceedings. His mantras: race to ruck, hard, fast, direct. All the words, Shuan, synonymous with the Sean Lynn team.
100%, and they've worked so well together, haven't they, in Gloucester Hartpury. But Murph as well is Mr. Positive. He's energetic, like his Sean, but also his detail in defence and race to ruck. And, you know, between those both, I think they'll get the best out of this Welsh side.
Okay? So if you're, then thank you. Just set that early. Okay, time on, go ahead. Not straight, outside arm. Option. Line out.
Scotland opting to go for the line out there, had the option, not straight, and obviously the penalty scrum earlier, so opting to go for the line out. They do back themselves on that.
Make sure we're back 10.
Great to see Lana Skeldon back fit as well, had a calf injury in November, and this is her first match back.
You've seen that one twice, short onto Cunningham on debut. She's wearing a white scrunchie in her hair today so that the aforementioned Granny Gwenda can spot her more easily on TV. Capped at under 18s and under 20s level for the Red Roses, and here she is now back in against the grain, and there's a little glimpse at exactly what Brian Easton was so keen to bring into camp. Deft touch from Nelson, hoofing and herring after it is Fran McGee. What a gather from the winger, all the tricks coming out of the box. Slaloming Welshwoman for fun, and what a platform this is as dancing over the top is Lisa Thompson. Scottish tails up now. And the crowd in and amongst it too, being that 16th player. Malcolm finds Cunningham. They are looking to her so much already as a destructive carrier. She is tall and powerful. She brings a little bit of difference in that regard, Brian Easton said. Now Nelson assesses her options, picks out Moore, who looks to cleave through Hannah Jones, but the Welsh captain makes her tackle. This now Malcolm. Bevan, body on the line to haul down the Scottish captain. It's been stripped and offsets Jenny Scoville. Tight head on the loose.
Don't play the 9, no.
Bevan finds Fleming, whose turnover averted crisis last time out, and safely done by Hlakey George.
Great exit by Hlakey there, isn't it? Good patience by Kira though. Not rushing, finding the pod, allowing Hlakey to set, and then a good exit towards the 10-metre line. But I thought Scotland might have been in with a shout there. It was a great little dink, wasn't it, by Helena Nelson to have all on the back end of it.
Absolutely, and what a break by Fran McGee. Real understanding there. She's a real threat and bringing absolute energy to this game.
Skeldon, Cunningham, Brebner Holden, now Nelson on to Thompson. She's got McLachlan in support. And fine work there from the blind side, Kate Williams, to make a real mess of that on the deck. Coming again, Scotland through their most slippery operator, Chloe Rowley. What an impact she has each and every time she runs out for this national outfit.
Not there. Scrum advantage!
Ball knocked on. Scrum advantage going the way of Wales. And Kira Bevan, always so wise to an opportunity, sliced that one somewhat, gifted it straight back to Rowley, and it's juggled by McGee.
Knock on.
That a collector's item, because she had a clear 30-metre scoot to the whitewash there.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Scotland are really trying to gather up the speed of an attack there, and really defensive sets there by Wales, outstanding, but just again McGee the speedster. But it's Holly Cunningham that's really impressing me here, just getting some go forward, bumping off defenders, and Lisa Thompson as well.
Thank you.
Which is at 4 carries already, Holly Cunningham, and Dan Murphy knows exactly what sort of threat she poses, having coached Gloucester Hartbury against her Bristol Bears this year.
Crouch! Bind!
Young, Skeldon, Clark, Davies, Phillips and Scoville. 4 props making their first starts in this competition. And Georgia Evans, wearing number 8 for the first time since March of last year. So versatile, invaluable for both club and country. George thumps that one. It practically comes back down with Scottish snow on top of it. But how about the take from Rona Lloyd? Clark's carry. And meaty fend too.
Inside 50, in front.
End over end, that skittles from Nelson. Picks out Joyce, who only needs a hint, a shadow of an opportunity. But it's well read by her Team GB7's teammate, Lisa Thompson, slamming the door shut on that occasion. And then Evans running into the sort of double tackle that elicits ooze from a packed Hive Stadium, as that one did. Lloyd pats that one down. Karis Cox had eyes for it, but somehow it's the Scottish winger who has it now. After that early siege that Wales staged, Scotland have had all of the ball, 60% of possession now, the meter reads, but nothing to show for it.
Advantage, not rolling.
This promising. Now they can take the handbrake off, and Nelson puts a little speculative chip towards Hlakey George. Fran McGee has somehow gathered that, looks up and has Lisa Neumann for company.
Scrum advantage, Blue!
Scrum advantage for Scotland. Are you keeping up with this? Here we go. Scotland in attack up to the cusp of the 22.
Scrum advantage,
looking
over.
to de-bagel themselves, but Wales are making their tackles. Thompson winds it up and fires it over the top to McLaughlin. Cox with the essential tackle. Rolly plays scrum half, and now Cunningham picks out Young.
Lost it now.
So much ball, and that's a brilliant defensive read from Bethan Lewis, because Chloe Rolly would not have been caught had she managed to fly through there.
Can't play the 9, you're part of the ruck. 9 red, playing the 9.
After all of that, Scotland will have the penalty, and it is right before the uprights.
The speed of play is absolutely unbelievable. You were talking, are you keeping up with this? The speed of play. Scotland were last in terms of ruck speed in the Six Nations, but they were top. They were under 3 seconds, 2.94 in the WXV, and they've obviously continued that vein. They're getting the pressure on. Wales are defending really well. The tackles are going. Georgia Evans, but they've got the opportunity and they're taking the points here.
It's interesting, isn't it? Kick battle that's going on, where we can see Helen Nelson's put some good kicks in there, putting Jazz Joyce under pressure. She's run it back. Wales not really getting out of their half this last 10 to 12 minutes, apart from the first 5. We're not seeing Wales play the territory game as much as maybe they would like to. But a sensible decision here to go for points.
Faultless at the Arms Park last year. And she's carried that form right back and north of the border. Helen Nelson has Scottish flags waving and Scottish fans singing.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 penalties and 2 conversions, which were crucial at the Arms Park last year, and keeping a cool head there and getting Scotland on the scoreboard.
Spoke to both head coaches pre-match. Brian Easton said, we know there's a storm coming in the opening 20. We have to ride that storm. Well, we saw the storm up one end of the pitch, and Sean Lynn said they will not outwork us. If we do one thing in this fixture, we will outwork Scotland. Your assessment of that part, Siobhan?
Yeah, they've been working hard, haven't they? They've been sound in defence. Scotland have had a lot of territory in possession, but not giving them any easy out. So, you know, and knowing Sean Lynn as well as they do, he will get the energy from these girls that work rate and get them to buy into everything on this field. And it's been a good start by them. They just need to play in the right areas.
I think he used the word excited every other sentence in this week's press conference, and you can feel that effervescence and that energy throughout the 15 out on the Hive Stadium's pitch before us now. Allow Peps, all 5'11" of her teenage frame, and this now Beth Lewis managed somehow to hook that, the bounce pass, onto Jazz Joyce, who gets a fend like a piston away. And Scotland will feed.
Yeah, an excellent defensive set there. Wales are really just getting the edges. Neumann, Kayleigh Powell just sidestepping there and making yards on the right and then ending on the left. And Bethan Lewis just knocking on there. But yeah, look at the tackles. Wales 54. We're talking about the intensity of that defence. They've done it in the 22, and they were just had that passage of attacking play. But Scotland standing firm. And shout out to Rona Lloyd for the previous passage for that high ball take. Absolutely outstanding.
I think that shows how much possession Scotland have had. They've had 60% possession so far, just Wales 40, and that's in the early stages of this game. So Wales having to defend a lot at the moment. They won't want to spend all afternoon defending against this Scotland side, because we're seeing the likes of Fran McGee, who's looking really threatening in that backfield for Scotland.
It is a tantalising back line for the Scots. But that dynamism is across their outfit. Rachel Malcolm speaking in the week saying we don't make players as big as Wales, as big as England, as big as France, but what we do have is footwork and guile, and it's something that the Scottish skipper has worked so hard on this season at Loughborough Lightning. turning a lengthy layoff, 10 weeks out of action with an ankle injury, into an opportunity to go away and hone her craft, ball in hands. And we'll get to see that in full effect in just a moment.
Keep everyone with you, thank you.
There's another little battle taking place here in Edinburgh. The Piper versus the Welsh stand right before our commentary position. And it's those gathered before us who cheer louder now, because that one is spilt. Opportunity goes begging for Scotland again. 20 minutes played, the lion's share of possession, not a try to show for it. George waiting deep in the 22 and puts that prolific boot all the way through it. What a clearance.
Yeah, Clicky George, last Six Nations, the longest kicks, 50 metres, 49 metres. She can really get Wales out of trouble, out their 22. Another opportunity here for Scotland, and maybe not the really, really long kick, just to settle the nerves. Short one.
Cunningham keeps both feet on the floor in receiving that line out, and look at the forwards now flowing around the corner for Scotland. So many bruisers keen to get their hands on it, but instead they feed their human pinball, and Chloe Rollie is back doing Chloe Rollie things in the Six Nations. Brevna Holden, Nelson, Skeldon. Such a nifty distributor, and that's two high tackles in quick successions from Wales.
High tackle.
It's kickable. It's eminently kickable.
High tackle. Upright, just make sure we're going low.
And Nelson will bury this one deep in Welsh territory.
Captain.
It's gift wrapped this, and it's
That's
Wales
2 high tackles now, okay?
handing the opportunity over through their own ill discipline.
Just hold.
Wales need to be careful here. You can hear the lady in the middle saying 2 high tackles on the bounce. Have another one, there might be another conversation. Discipline needs to tidy up for Wales.
Before you throw the ball in the line out, okay? You have to come in and set. You can't just come in and immediately throw, yeah? Thank you.
It's interesting, isn't it, Heather?
Okay.
Scotland have gone to a couple of funny lineouts, not gone up. Obviously a tactic they've worked in training this week.
Well, they definitely lifted Malcolm up on that occasion, and now look at this Scottish maul get to work. It's been collapsed.
Advantage for collapsing.
Advantage going the way of Scotland. Rona Lloyd screaming for it on this far touchline, but they're keeping it tight for now, tight and muscular, as Malcolm goes burrowing for their first try of the championship and will be denied.
Going back for collapsing.
Collapsed by
For
Abby Fleming.
collapsing.
So back we will come.
Okay.
Yeah, really, really good processes there by Scotland.
There's no clear movement forward.
So referee just confirming number 4, Abby Fleming, collapsing that maul, and Scotland get another opportunity. It was a great take by Rachel Malcolm, Scotland's highest line-out taker.
If we transfer, okay?
And they'll be looking to get their processes right again, right in this corner.
Again to Malcolm. Their central fulcrum of a line-out target, and this is better. This has a little bit more of a head of steam, and there it is. Scotland have their first try of the championship, and there is no more deserving scorer than Captain Fantastic. Rachel Malcolm gets the hive rocking.
Great patience, wasn't it, by Scotland in that driving maul. Knew exactly what they were going to do, had a second go at it, find the edge, back towards the touchline, all on the same page. And the skipper, it's only one place she's going, and that's over that line.
Look how tight they are, just when it's driving. We got the first one, and again, they weren't afraid to go to Rachel Malcolm again. Safe hands, and absolutely delighted for her. Absolutely just working so hard, team effort, the front clearing out in order for Rachel to go over.
From the skipper to the vice-captain. And Goodness me, Helen Nelson is feeling it all right. She kicks like a dream, it seems, when Wales are on the pitch with her.
Yeah, just got her rhythm today. I think there's just an energy, and you can just hear the crowd. It's just unbelievable, and I think that the support for Scotland and for Wales today is just unbelievable to see the crowd just making so much noise.
When Helen Nelson's on form, Scotland seem to play well, don't they? And she's played well, not just kicking at sticks so far. The little kicks we've seen her put into the game in the opening 25 minutes. She's really got the best out of the Scotland side so far.
Time off. Teamwork check. Ollie, what do you have?
Kat, I'm going to show you a shift ball setup by Scotland in the lead up to the try.
Okay. So we're checking a shift maul setup in the lead up to the try.
Isn't that the voice of Ollie Kellett, our Australian TMO, whose voice is being broadcast to the stadium here, one of the innovations we're bringing in for this championship.
Yeah.
Let's listen in.
So the ball is passed off and they do not drive through the jumper and go to the outside of the lifter and drive through that gap. And I'll have a better angle for it as well for you.
Yeah, I agree with what the TMO
So this is a good
here.
angle. So number 6 takes the ball, passes it off, and they do not drive through, and they go around the corner and score the try.
Okay. So ball is never in contact with the jumper, not at the front, so it's a clear obstruction. So we're going to overturn the on-field and go with penalty to Wales. Okay.
Agree with that.
Okay, Ollie, I'll have a decision.
Go ahead, Kat, you're on screen.
Okay. So the ball is passed and makes contact with the lifter. There's never contact with the jumper. And so it's a clear obstruction. We're going to overturn our on-field try and go to the Wales.
Agree with that.
Okay.
It's a spot-on decision, isn't it? I missed it. Holly Cunningham, I think it's Evie Gallagher. Just take the defenders away. The ball's not with them, so therefore they're offside.
Never
We're in
makes
offside
contact with the
position,
jumper.
which
You
disrupts
have to have the ripper.
the Welsh
make contact
defence.
with the jumper. Thank you, Hannah.
Yeah, you can just hear the referee saying
You just have to make sure
the
there's
referee has to
with
make
you
contact.
first. Okay, and then. Definitely don't touch the side of me. Okay.
Rachel explaining otherwise, but it's a penalty.
Obstruction.
Well, she's not doing her job if she doesn't at least once appeal, Rachel Malcolm. She's got to try. But Kat Roach, done the last 4 of these championships. She knows what she's about.
On the 15.
It's in the job description as a captain, isn't it, Claire? Question the referee.
Right there. Just keep everyone with you, please.
I'm alongside Wales's Sean Connor. Sean, goodness me, what a pace this match is. What's your assessment of this first 25 minutes?
Some great intent from both teams. I think we're probably playing a little bit too much in our own half, which is exhausting our forwards. So the message from us is just get a little bit more territory and force Scotland to play from deep.
Yeah, how do you get attacking more? Because as you say, you are defending quite a bit here too, effectively though.
Yeah, our defence has been really good, but obviously it's going to tire the girls out in the wrong areas of the field. So message is go a little bit longer without kicks and then force them to make mistakes.
Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
Fine, please.
There she is, the Gwalia Lightning lock forward. Alal Pers, whose sister Gwen Llian is watching on from the Welsh bench, whose 8 other siblings, no doubt, are watching on from either the stands before us, not spotted them yet, or perhaps the family farm in Conway. It is a family affair, and she's going to need all of that farm strength now. Brebner Holden feeds Gallagher. Back onto the scrum half. That's a lovely line. That's a lovely bit of interplay. Lisa Thompson ducks a granity shoulder and goes again up against Joyce. Nelson, quick hands to Rolly. The way ahead is thick, though, with red jerseys, and Cox effects the tackle. How about the Welsh defensive efforts? We will not be outworked, Sean Lynn said, and the industry before us. Well, no doubt it's delighting Dan Murphy.
Yeah, Dan Murphy will be happy with the defensive effort so far. Wales working exceptionally, really hard in that area. We just heard Sean Connor say maybe Wales just overplaying a little bit in the middle areas, a bit too much. We haven't seen Wales really enter the 22 yet. A good defensive set. Karis Cox in there, Georgia Evans. Just imposing that physicality on the Scottish girls.
Yeah, Scotland are going to have to work hard to get their tries out wide. That wide defence is excellent by Wales.
Evans with that distinctive hot pink bow in her hair. Don't let that fool you. She hits as hard as anyone. George not quite finding touch, instead finding a balletic Lloyd. And here goes the human crackle of static. That is Rolly, and then Orr.
First player.
Fleming is playing the game on the easiest of difficulty settings in defence right about now. She's managed another turnover. Gets to her feet.
In front.
And Wales opt to hoist this one heavenward. Again. Nicely done by Lloyd. And Lisa Thompson has turned into a sprint hurdler. Tackle made by Jones. I think Lisa Thompson went to the Olympics in the wrong sport.
Yeah, you can see Ciara Bevan with her hands up there, though. You're not allowed to hurdle out of tackles.
Had the tackle been made? Was the tackle attempt on? So far, Ollie Callett's very happy with that one. So Scotland once again back in the 22. A short, explosive effort from Skeldon, well left by Nelson. The bounce pass finds Cunningham. Malcolm in support. Clark on now to Nelson. This McLaughlin who straightens and then floors it. Evans tackle.
McLaughlin's great in those wide channels. The injection of pace that she has, she comes onto the ball, really tests the defenders.
Can you go through your captain, please?
Well, she's known, amongst other things, Rachel McLaughlin, for her turnover ability, but the tally reads Scotland 0, Wales 3.
It's not a clear jump. TMO checks.
Here we see it now. Oh, that's a clear jump for me. Sorry, TMO.
Guys, stop. Leave it, please.
Well, if a captain's job is to appeal about decisions like we just saw, Ciara Bevan's job as a scrum half is to at least wind up the referee.
Absolutely, and if anyone knows Ciara Bevan, she loves that role and responsibility as well. But yeah, for me, that was a clear jump out of the tackle.
Yeah, it does say in the laws you're not allowed to do that. But on to the wide defence, in terms of the Welsh wide defence, I said it before, Scotland are going to have to just maybe adapt their game plan slightly, because Karis Cox and Lisa Neumann and Jazz Joyce have come out to play defensively, and when they get the attacking option too, but defensively outstanding just now.
On the 5. Time on.
30 minutes gone in this one, and how long ago that opening strike from Karis Phillips feels. It has been a Scottish onslaught since. There's scarcely a thing to show from it. We thought this one might be tight. 6 of the last 7, decided by 7 points off Euro, of course, in this one. 3 Scottish wins, 4 Welsh wins in their last 7 encounters.
Clear access.
Tight as you like, the finest of margins.
Down by red.
But in a competition in which momentum is queen, how precious a victory today might prove. Hang on, offset Fran McGee. Hoovered up that kick. But Wales with their 4th turnover of this first half. And look at what it means to Jazz Joyce. Hannah Jones said in the week, if they played with smiles on their faces today, the performance would come. Well, it was Scottish faces split with smiles for a moment there, but how about Jazz Joyce?
Yeah, it's great work by Ciara Bevan, isn't it, to hustle back to make that tackle, and Joyce in a great profile there over the ball. Second turnover in a couple of minutes. Outstanding work.
Yeah, and Fran McGee just showing her explosiveness, just a real threat, and really asking the questions of that Welsh defence.
Scottish ball again. They'll be playing council tax soon in the Welsh half. They've spent so much time down there.
Oh, he's inside.
Ravenous kick chase.
Red 3!
Goes Neumann with the clearance of dreams, and there is so much wind in Welsh sails right now.
I thought you were going to say there was a lot of wind on the field there, Claire. There was a great kick with the wind, but no, that is outstanding from Lisa Neumann. And another kind of string she's put to her bow. We often haven't seen Lisa put boot to ball. That's an outstanding clearance, right up towards halfway.
No contest.
Brebner Holden fighting like a tiger there on the floor because Lewis had shot up to grab the scrum half. He rises a little wearily.
Counter's good. Counter by Wales is good.
Fleming has done it again. Here is Pearce.
Advantage. High tackle.
Young's tackle, drawing the advantage, and Kira Bevan back against the grain. Pure afterburners from the scrum half. There's the offload. She's picked out Davies, the teenage sensation. Scotland, though, reacts so quickly, scramble well as Pearce looks to narrow that line. George, Powell, going to whip here, Wales. They promised us some theatrics from their back line. What can Joyce produce?
Okay, still advantage. We're going back. We're going back. High tackle.
Kira Bevan, just, oh, what a player. She's really risen to the occasion. Captain 3 times last year, and her tap and go and her ability to spot a gap for Wales is absolutely outstanding. But turnover from Fleming, the work rate at the breakdown, Leah Bremner Holden really getting messy ball. And yeah, there we go. Kira Bevan just showing her explosiveness and her rugby acumen. Great tackle there by Helen Nelson.
And knees, please.
Yeah, she's great to run those breakdowns, identifying when there's a gap, when to snipe, when to go. It's interesting, Wales haven't really been in this position since the first 5 minutes. We're now 35 minutes in nearly.
Time off. Team out check. Ollie, what do you have?
5 red before the high tackle by blue midfield.
Okay, so we're going to look at a high tackle by 5 red that happened before the high tackle against blue.
Agree. Yeah.
So it's Alau Pearce, Gwalia Lightning Tyro on her first start in the Wales jersey.
Norwich, your angles are coming now, Kat.
Made her debut here at the Hive. Let's have a look.
So this is the far side tackler, number 5 red. And I'll get a better angle for you. This is your best angle.
Do you have to wonder how difficult it is getting low when you're 5'11" and Lana Skeldon, who's not the tallest, is running at you?
So I'm
yeah, it is tough, isn't it? But she almost just plants, allows Skeldon to come at her rather than changing her height. You see, she's flat-footed there. And it is tough, though. Is there mitigation there?
Her feet are moving. Blue is making all the contact into her.
We'll keep rolling angles for you.
I mean, for me, her feet aren't moving. I think that's a glancing blow. I'm at penalty only.
Agree with that, then.
Okay. So, Ollie, I have a decision.
You're on screen, Kat.
Okay, so there was a high tackle by 5 red before the tackle by blue. It's a low degree of danger. The tackler is quite static, so it's a penalty only. We're going to go back to that since that happened before.
Agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, agreed with that decision. Allow's not going forward with force. She's planted, isn't she?
2 metres into the Welsh half, 17 metres in from touch.
And not only that,
I'm trying to.
Jenny Scoble was in the tackle.
Sorry, Ollie, can you repeat
Jenny's
that?
tackling. So there's some
48
mitigation
metres
there.
out.
Agree with this call.
So
Just a
other side of the
penalty,
line.
nothing more.
And 17 metres out from touch. So 2 steps forward.
Okay. My tackle. Not right now. Not right now. Right here.
Lana Skeldon, Scotland's most capped hooker of all time, into her 11th Six Nations. And hoping with this
We had an
throw
informal warning down there. Next high tackle goes to the bin. Clear?
to potentially get Scotland their first try of this campaign. Looking to improve on back-to-back fourth-place finishes, and so well placed to do so. You would think 3 home fixtures. This the first of them, but it's Wales who lead in Edinburgh. Skeldon with it at the base. Exploded like fireworks initially, but now stymied. Brebner Holden to Thompson, no look onto Nelson, those playmakers interchanging, offload from Rolly. This now Rona Lloyd, who scored in Cardiff and pirouettes her way towards what would be a much-needed score for Brian Easton's side. Brebner Holden onto Malcolm, denied at first. Denied again on this occasion. Young has options queuing up to her right. It's Cunningham. The white scrunchy thrashing as she rides the tackles. Skeldon delivered the ball infield, and now with a chug of her own, getting low again is Malcolm. Fleming with the tackle. She is inexhaustible today. So narrow, Scotland, but there's the score! And at long last, the dam bursts at the Hive. They have huffed and they have puffed, and they have blown the Welsh house down, and at last Scotland get a nose in front.
Yeah, there's outstanding passage of play here, some offloading. Rona Lloyd really getting amongst it, Chloe Rowley getting in the ball. But it's the set play here, it's the patience and the low drives. And Sarah Bonner, elite athletes Davis with the RAF, and it's just proving that. Look at that, right on the line. Great line out take as well.
Well, the scoreboard was denied that peach of a conversion from Helen Nelson from the touchline. That one much more straightforward, and so it proved. 10 plays 7 with a few minutes remaining on this first 40.
Credit to Scotland. They've been banging the drum, haven't they? Knocking on that Welsh door for the last 30 minutes, it feels like. That was a great body angle by Bonner. She just gets nice and low, doesn't she? You've got her these days. You can't go high. You don't want to be held up. It was a great finish by Bonner. But credit to Scotland. They haven't given up the intent. They've been pressing against this Welsh defence for some time now.
Nelson clearing with distance, but not finding touch, so Joyce gives it some Welly, McLaughlin's tackle. Wales scoreless since that early pick and go from Phillips, who's to the short side here and lends her weight to that breakdown as they go back against the grain through Bevan and Davies. Converted from flanker to prop over the summer, and she's still full of running, the youngster. So swift, that service. Bevan just lofting that one upwards, but that with a little bit more pace. Lewis, George, Karis Phillips. George heads back in the same direction she came from.
Evie Gallagher with the turnover there.
We good?
Georgia Evans watching on, sent to the sideline for 10 minutes.
I'm just a wee bit, just want clarity. Like, they were warned at the bottom end for the number of high tackles, and then they got TMO penalty for another high. So
that was just an informal warning. That was just me letting them know that they were
now
starting.
Are they on a formal warning for high tackle?
Yeah, if there's another high tackle, I'll escalate if necessary. If there's another high tackle, I'll escalate as necessary. Water off, please! Water off!
Rachel Malcolm just clarifying the position on the warnings and the high tackles, but Evie Gallagher just showing her prowess and real nous at that breakdown. 7 breakdown steals last year in the Six Nations, was top stealer, and just so strong over that ball, just to give Scotland another opportunity before half-time.
60 seconds remaining on this first half, a try apiece. And this, the offence from Georgia Evans, which has seen her sat right in front of collapsing that maul there. Thompson, newly crowned player of the season with her Premiership club Trailfinders. And Skeldon finding the reigning bear of the season down at Bristol, Gallagher. There are so many brilliant athletes in this Scottish setup, but that, a knock on, a fluffing of lines, it doesn't do them quite justice. So Wales is put in for the final throw of the dice.
It's amazing to think that Lana Skeldon has not played a match since November, and she's doing the dummy, she's taking on the balls, she's giving options, and they were queuing up on the right-hand side. Just a little knock on there from Chloe Rowley, but they'll get the next one. But that ability to move the defenders and keep the defenders guessing is going to be key in the end of this half and beginning of the second half.
Skeldon and Orr returning from lengthy injury layoffs, calf and ankle respectively. Kelsey Jones, Gwen Fiancash, Donna Rose and Gwen Crabb the same amongst the Welsh replacements. But we will have to wait a little longer to see them introduced into the fray, because Ciara Bevan, vice-captain, decides that will be that for the opening 40 of this fixture. A try for Caris Phillips. The response from Sarah Bonner. Georgia Evans, currently a bystander, and that alone. She's been shown a yellow card, so Scotland will emerge with the player advantage after this pause to proceedings. And Sean Lynn giving his first team talk in the sheds as Wales head coach. So much to unpick on the other side.
Yeah, just keeping calm, stick structures, and play in the right areas of the park.
Excellent. Let's go back to our commentary team of Sue-Ann Lilly-Crabb, who will be heading up there, Heather Lockhart. But first of all, you're going to hear, with Scotland leading 10 points to 7, we'll hear from Claire Thomas.
The rain has started in earnest now in Edinburgh, but that's not the only thing which has changed around here. Sean Lynn has given Wales a fresh start, a new set of values and an injection of energy, and said that he would ask this group one question before kick-off today. How hard are you willing to fight for this family? Well, they're fighting hard, all right, and they will have to do so again now if they are going to overhaul Scotland, and without Georgia Evans for the next few minutes. Over all of this, of course, hangs the spectre of their August World Cup meeting. Very possibly the 80 minutes which will decide who qualifies from a congested Pool B. Rachel Malcolm denied a score midway through that first half, having just had a word with our referee, Kat Roach. She's well aware that Wales' discipline leaves a little something to be desired, and just wants to be sure that our American referee
Wales
is
ready?
all over that.
Scotland ready?
It was an explosion from the traps from the Welsh that Karis Phillips score. So impressive.
Right.
But they've a little hill to climb here now. They will clear through the boot of Kaylee Powell.
Yeah, composed start there, and we see Donna Rose has come on at tight head. Jenny Scobel did really well in the first half, but bringing that experience on in the tight head position. She's not had her injuries to seek either, a neck injury, but again, coming back. So many players making this the aim to come back from injury and get those game time under their belt.
Play on.
The line-out wasn't perfect for Scotland in the opening 40, but that one works a dream. Thompson laying it up on a plate for Gallagher, who is pinwheeling and still going. Evie Gallagher, she is quick, she is powerful, she's got gorgeous hands, and look at the offload. Brevna Holden, such swift service onto Nelson, squirming and placing it backwards. And what a start to the second half this is for Scotland. Tails up, head of steam clattering into red jerseys before them. Wales stray offside, so they can spark into full entertainment mode Scotland, which they duly do. That's how you start a second half of rugby. Gun to tape and Thistly all over.
Okay, just stay square.
Which of course means we are going to have a little look at this upstairs. Ollie Kellett, our television match official, getting involved.
Show you a clear obstruction by Scotland near the halfway line, and that leads to the line break.
Okay. I'm at the screen.
Bringing up angles now. So number 7 blue is in front of the ball carrier, and number 13 red tackles them, and they run through that gap.
So in front of the ball carrier, yeah. Cool.
Just
Ollie, I've got a decision.
Just in front, just
You're on screen now.
obstruction.
Okay. For
Not
me, there's a
allowing the
clear
Welsh players to
obstruction.
tackle.
There's a blue player in front who prevents red from making the tackle. I'm going to overturn my on-field decision. No try, go back to the penalty.
Agreed with that. It's midfield on the 40.
No try, obstruction.
Well, Rachel Malcolm will be wondering just how many lives these Welsh Cats have.
100%. How many TMOs have we seen now, Claire? Is that the 4th? We're only 41 minutes in. 41 TMOs come in. But that wasn't it?
Yeah.
Obstructing Kaylee Powell there. She couldn't tackle. Right call.
But in terms of the tactics for Scotland, how they started, spot on. The offloads, the clean breaks, that's exactly what this, how they need to get round this solid Welsh defence. The Welsh defence are set, they're so hard. Already, Georgia Evans, I know she's off at the moment, she's up to 15 tackles, outstanding.
Siobhan, you've captained your country at the highest level under the most enormous of pressure. If you're Rachel Malcolm, how do you keep Scotland calm at this stage when everything they try is failing to stick?
You've just got to stick to process, haven't you? That's the message. Everything you've done in training the last 2 or 3 weeks, stick to plan, stick to process. It will stick and it will come. You don't have to try anything, a miracle. Good play.
Well, speaking of miracles, Karis Cox rising with that one and inhaling 25 hard-earned yards. A hat-trick against Spain over the summer to book Wales's ticket to the World Cup. Back in action. Haven't seen her all season after a shoulder injury sustained at WXV. We have seen Kaylee Powell in action, and we have seen Lisa Thompson and those players carrying their form right up to Hive Stadium. Look at Fran McGee just glides to make that tackle. She is such an elegant, easy runner, and now Emma Hall will react quicker than anyone. And surely this one will stand. It's the least conventional of the lot.
Definitely the crowd thinks so. What an outstanding passage of play there from Scotland. Came with in the deep in the 22, and Lisa Thompson, came from Helen Nelson's tackle, and then Lisa Thompson hacks on, and it's Fran McGee's pace and alertness And just, yeah, they're just working hard at that breakdown. But look, Lana Skeldon and Emma Orr, they wants to react. Lisa Thompson knows it. And we've been given the all clear try. Well done, Emma Orr.
Ultimately, it was the breakdown work that created that opportunity, wasn't it? If you don't go for that jackal counter-ruck, that ball wouldn't have popped out. It all come from a Wales mistake.
Easy as you like from Nelson towards Murrayfield Stadium, where no doubt these women will be playing one day, but for now they will have to content themselves with delighting the Hive.
Yeah, here we see it. Look at that jackal disrupting. Wales players have to deal with the threat, take her away. And Orr is alert. She sees the ball pop out, and she is by the sticks. It's a good finish, but it all comes from that hunger, that desire, winning that race to that breakdown, putting pressure on Wales.
Well, it has just got noticeably louder here at Hive Stadium. Scotland have their second through Emma Orr, whose scything break set up Lloyd in Cardiff last year. She likes this fixture.
Guys, I need to make sure there's clear
Confirmation
access. Last
that
time it was
Georgia
really
Evans
tight, okay? If you're going to maul, clear access, okay?
Can return to the fray to add to the body of work she's already assembled in this fixture.
Yeah, Scotland needed to take advantage of that numerical one down, and Georgia Evans will certainly try to make her presence felt again. 5th try for Emma Orr for Scotland.
Down by red! Down by red.
Set piece not crisp there by Wales. Beth Lewis does well to gather it, but they're not set up right for the driving maul. Scotland like just disrupting. You can see, I think it's Bonner and Cunningham in and around that ball.
Please.
Wales aren't tight. Line out didn't go as to plan. Didn't look as crisp as it normally does.
I think as well that intensity, we talked about the breakdown leading up to the try, and the intensity there from Scotland to disrupt that maul. I think they've probably talked about intensity in the contact areas.
Proper tussle at that scrum, neither side budging, so they opt to head skywards as the rain continues to fall and Joyce jinking and then finding Neumann. Ball went backwards, somehow fingertip stuff from the Harlequins winger. Now one of her fierce London rivals, the Saracen Evans. Bevan back into the pocket. George looks up, spies open Prairie, picks out Helen Nelson.
In front, retreat!
Got 2 of the most powerful kickers in the women's game here.
Keep retreating!
This time Georgia Rootles in her Mary Poppins handbag, pulls out the spiral, gets the job done, knocked on by McGee, and it's a little chalk tally in the column marked Flaky George.
Yes, good kicking battle then, wasn't there? Helen Nelson versus George, but love that spiral bomb by George. It's hard for McGee to gather that. They're really, really difficult, and especially with the conditions we've got out here now. The rain has come down, it's wet. Great tactical game management there. I'm sure that would have been Sean Lynn's message at half-time. Territory game, kicking battle. Let's play in the right areas. It's good game management.
Scrum here.
Yeah, tough one there for McGee, but she's such a competitor, such a performance. She'll just put that out of her mind. It's difficult with the conditions, it's just getting a bit slippier. Just needed to be an inch further closer to the ball, but it's difficult when it's spiralling like that.
Scott, please. Crouch!
Brian Eason, who led Scotland to their first World Cup in 12 years, who's the most experienced head coach now across the Women's Six Nations, makes his first tactical change. Mattinson is on, there she is, backpedaling, watching on. She'll bring so much nous to proceedings. Neumann drops that onto her laces, Roy back in hot pursuit. Clutches her face. I think she was
I
knocked
haven't
there.
seen clear eye contact, but just...
Continues to appeal in that vein.
Okay.
It's a high tackle by 8 blue. High tackle by 8 blue. 8 red, sorry, 8 red.
Okay.
And that's Georgia
So high
Evans.
tackle, penalty only, back. Sorry, what number was that?
Just see here, Chloe really
No,
just
Timo,
turning.
check. I want to formally review this, please.
Time off. Yeah, Timo check.
So that will be of some concern because that's Georgia Evans who's just returned from the sin bin.
Okay, I'm going to show you the high tackle by 8 red. Angles are coming. I'm just getting another angle for you. These are your best angles.
So it's a high tackle. For me, it reaches the yellow card threshold. It's a second yellow card anyway, so it's going to be a red. It's a second yellow. Yeah, it's the same player as the yellow.
I agree with that.
Okay. I need 8.
Kat, you're on screen now.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I have a decision. Yeah. Okay. So it's a high tackle. It reaches yellow card threshold. Regardless, it's going to be your second yellow card, so it's a red card.
Send it to the bunker. You need to send this to me.
Sorry, it's going for field review anyway.
Thank you.
So confirmation there that we will be heading to the bunker. Our foul play review officer, in this case Ian Tempest, who will review all of the angles and then report back, which will dictate Georgia Evans's fate, not necessarily for today, but going forward. The colour, that card will remain. But for now, we daren't go anywhere because just 10 points separate these two. 30 minutes left to play, an eternity in Test match rugby. As the rain continues to bucket down. McLaughlin finds her back row partner in Gallagher, and some of the shots going in are thunderous today. Gallagher into Williams.
In front.
Nelson.
Nope.
Finds George, and the little tit-for-tat battle continues.
All in front and advancing. All in front and advancing.
Opportunity here for Wales, isn't there? Just outside the 22. What are they going to do? You can see Kira Bemo's going to go fast there, and Jad Joyce points to the corner. Wales' set piece is generally good.
Scrum, 17 meters out if you'd like that instead.
An opportunity here to get back in the game.
Yeah, right in the corner, Cleaky George, but we want to make this one count, irrespective of being a player down. Karis Phillips scored after 8 minutes. We'll be looking to get over the try line again.
Phillips on to Lewis. Wales attacking with 14, but making it look like they've got 16. Make that 17. Look at them go. Hand comes out from Cat Roach. Now Wales are stalled, but they've still got the advantage to flex. Powell knocks it on, the greasy ball.
Entry.
Starting to take names, but they go quickly through Bevan. Held up.
Hold up. Nice CD.
And we praise her audacity, her tenacity all the time, but on that occasion, they just needed a little calm.
Subs. 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think there, Kira Bevan would have, in retrospect, they're just gone to the corner again. It was such a good driving maul, that line out, and they could have done that again. Good opportunity there, but Rachel Malcolm just alert. Great sense of reach here. Getting right under there with Evie Gallagher. Superb defensively.
Okay, subs complete.
And this a truly special moment. Kelsey Jones, who started for Sean Lynn when Gloucester Hartbury won their first Premiership final 2 years ago, is back from a lengthy injury layoff, a tough ACL injury, which has kept her from the game she loves for a year. But she is back, and so too Gwen Cleanne Pearce, returning from a neck operation sustained on WXV duties. And all of a sudden, Well, we'll wait to see how match fit they are, but Wales have two proper titans out on the pitch at the Hive.
Tackle! Away!
Jazz Joyce up and over 100 metres for her afternoon's work. George, short option is Kaylee Powell. Pers. Third most carries in the whole championship last year. As a loose head.
Crazy stats.
Crazy stats, crazy rugby. She was a woman possessed at points.
2 tries here 2 years ago.
Wonder how long-lasting muscle memory proves. Let's see, here she is. A little hitch, and then the impetus. Scotland now defending for their lives. They've got the player advantage. As McLaughlin, proper open side that, picked up Powell, dumped her down, but
7 has to roll.
Penalty conceded in the process. You wonder what Wales will do on this occasion. Why did we wonder?
Yeah, go to the corner. Let's get this driving maul going again. The last driving maul, they had a lot of momentum to begin with, but Scotland did really well to stop them in their tracks.
Subs! Blue!
What a
1,
front row
2,
replacement
3, and
Wales
7.
have got
Subs.
on now. Kelsey Jones, Donna Rose, Gwenllian Pearce.
Timo, check.
Yeah.
Huge effort there by Scotland.
Time off.
Well done, the front row. And Rachel
Time
McLaughlin.
off. TMO check. Ollie, what do you have?
Kat, I have a dangerous clean out attacking the lower limbs by Scotland 8.
Okay, I'm at the screen.
Angles are coming. So it's that action there by number 8 blue. Lowering her weight onto the lower limbs of 16 red.
Okay.
She's got to go for that, I think.
I'm seeing foul play. She is lowering her weight onto that limb. For me, it reaches the yellow card threshold, so I'll go off-field review.
Yeah.
Okay. Scotland 8, yeah? Okay.
Agree with those.
Okay, sweet. Ollie, I have a decision.
You're on screen, Kat.
We have a dangerous clean out by Scotland 8. She's lowered her weight onto the lower limb of the Welsh player. For me, it reaches the threshold of yellow card, so it'll be an on-field yellow and off-field review for Scotland number 8.
Right call. It's dangerous play, isn't it? And you don't like seeing that. The reason they put that rule in place,
midfield,
the knees in a vulnerable position.
27 metres out.
Kelsey Jones first came back from an ACL injury, and you see that kind of action. It's not right.
Well, she hopped.
Right here.
Watching the replay of that on the big screen in a really ginger way. She had a smile on her face as she did it, but it is a reminder that is exactly why the new laws have come in.
It's more out of intent.
Lower limb injuries end careers.
So I'll stick with the line out.
100%.
She was in a legal position to start with, but then obviously transferred the weight to the lower limb.
Well, we're playing rugby 14s at the moment. And Kelsey Jones is at the base of this one, creeping ever closer. They've got the advantage. They can spin the wheel if they want to, but they won't need to. And Abby Fleming, who might just be having her best ever outing in a Wales jersey, is a try scorer in the Guinness Six Nations.
I agree, Claire. She's been everywhere this afternoon, hasn't she? Jackling over balls, disrupting breakdowns. And this is great vision. Transfers the ball from Kelsey Jones on the back of the maul. Spots where the try line is, sees there's no defender there. That's great vision and execution by Fleming. We've got a game on our hands.
Yeah, just this last passage of last 5 minutes has just been a bit disjointed, cards, etc. And just Wales have taken that advantage. Cleaky George just kicking right to that corner, and Abby Fleming doing the business.
Great, that's
been 50 long minutes since Wales scored up the other end of this place. They're back snarling. Bevan's added the extras. A penalty separates these two. 17-14 in the Scottish capital.
14 players apiece. 3-point game. We've got 25 minutes left. I think it's going to be a good end to this game. I knew it was going to be close.
Sometimes data really does tell a story. Sometimes history and statistics give you all the clues you need. You want to rely on the drama, but we were warned. The stat packs did tell us we might have a little something like this.
And the rain's really teeming down, so it's just going to be who can manage the conditions and just manage this last bit of the third quarter.
You're right, Claire. 6 of the last 7 matches have been decided within 7 points between these two teams. So that's what we've got on our hands. We're within 3 at the moment. I think we're going to see a few more scores from either side.
And hopefully a quieter 20 minutes for Ollie Kellett, our TMO.
He's had a busy afternoon.
He's losing his voice up there.
Yeah.
Don't change, don't change. That's moving sideways.
2 tries apiece. As the ball gets
Don't change, 7, don't
things get
change.
more and more precarious because we have a 25-minute burn-up towards the finishing line of this fixture. Scotland want the momentum, they want the win, they want to head to La Rochelle with a little something in their back pocket. Wales want to get the Sean Lynn era off to a winning start.
Coming back, 7. Leave it.
And 2 of
Coming back.
the women's game's feistiest operators, Chloe Rowley and Hannah Jones, they're just continuing the contacts after the whistle.
It's getting tasty.
7,
Getting fiery out there.
Good play there by Scotland. Ellis Martin's come on. 2 tries in the Six Nations last year. So, yeah, good composure there. And Katie Matheson as well, just keeping her composure.
Okay. Time off. We have an outcome on the bunker review. Captains.
It will remain a yellow card because the degree of danger is not high.
Is this for the first or second?
The first bunker review, the high tackle.
Okay. So the first bunker review. The first bunker review is going to remain a yellow card. Okay. It is, however, her second yellow card, so the red is still going to stand. Okay. The 2 yellow cards. Yeah, good? Yeah. Han. Numbers. Right there.
It's the first throw of Ellis Martin, Six Nations, an athlete who Easton says is growing every time she plays the game. And she's growing. The noise at the Hive is swelling and the stakes are rising as Scotland get to within 5. She's got it at the back. Her captain joins the fray. Massenson ready to rootle and dig that one out, but they stick with the heavies. And Wales wrestle it back. You can feel the tension.
That was a really steady passage of play there by Scotland. Really good composure. Ellis Martin really just bringing some stability to that drive through. But the conditions and Wales just not giving up. We talked about their contact area. And they're just really trying to see here. Justin, just the pressure there. Kelsey Jones, hands up.
Conditions are tough now as well, aren't they? That ball will be slippery out there. You can see the rain coming down. The great Mouldy, really good stuff. Get out of jail maybe for Wales there.
Bind! We're pre-engaging both sides, okay? We have to hold our weight back, yeah? Make sure we're getting those binds high up on the back, all right? Thank you.
All new front rows here. Martin, Bartlett, Belisle, Jones, Pearce and Rose. And remember, 3 of those not played competitive rugby for months now.
Seconds! In!
Crouch!
Wetter than an otter's pocket.
Set!
Bartlett there, just at the loose head position there, just bringing the scrum down there. So penalty to Wales, important one for Wales there. Just right on the side of the referee, so she could see it.
Right there. Thanks.
Brian Eason said something really interesting in the week. He's a very mild-mannered coach. But he said Sean Lynn's done amazing things at Gloucester Hartpury, but there is a big difference between the club game and the pressures of international rugby. It was perhaps the only shot he fired all week, but it rings so true right about now, because Gloucester Hartpury usually win things at a canter. Sean Lynn is in the test match arena, and he's realising that it is bristling with gladiators, and the margins are wafer thin.
Look at Allo Pierce go, outstanding.
Ball's available! Use it!
Scarcely a thing to separate these two sides. He watches on. He's been unable to sit down this entire second half, pacing around behind our commentary position. Brian Eason in his box, watching on implacably as we enter the final quarter. Bartlett, ball in two hands, carrying hard.
It's always inside.
Nelson.
In front, retreat.
Hoist of a vertiginous effort, and now they're trading knock-ons, these two sides.
Knock-on, she's past her.
That would have felt good after George's spiral earlier on.
Okay. Time off. We've got a decision on the second bunker. Captains.
The yellow card will be upgraded to a red card. There is a high degree of danger and then no mitigation attacking the lower limb.
Okay. The yellow card is going to be upgraded to a red card. It's a high degree of danger attacking the lower limb. We'll restart the scrum.
It's unfortunate there. I don't think that was deliberate act at all. As I said, it was illegal. She starts in a legal position, but it's one thing that World Rugby have said, that they really protecting the lower limbs is essential.
Is that right, just 20 minutes?
She played every minute for Scotland last year. This isn't a side short on back row options, but she's one of their most dangerous athletes, one of their most consistent performers. They will be without her for swathes of this championship now.
Yeah, right call in my eyes, Claire. Got to protect those lower limbs. She drops her weight and tries to pull Kelsey with her. But interesting now, isn't it? The bunker review will just be a 20-minute red card.
Scotland, a swift service from the base of that scrum, so much better than their previous effort. As before us, Bryony King warms up. Fresh legs soon to arrive for the Welsh, but it's Scotland's ball to play with. It's slippery, but if you keep it in two hands like Chloe Rowley does, you might just get some change anyway. McGee, whose name we haven't said in this second half. So slim have the pickings been for Scotland's backline. A captain's carry. Now Nelson on to Belial, who juggles it. It's almost gathered by Lewis.
First knock here. Second knock.
You have to play the conditions.
Time off. Sub.
Conditions are tough now. It's changed the game, hasn't it, from the first opening 10 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. The rain is really a lot heavier. Not so much wind, but just making that ball, especially in the artificial pitches, just making it a lot harder just to connect with that ball and keep it safe. Just rein it in slightly and just keep ball safe, especially in the entry in the 22. This half, Wales possession up to 45%, Scotland 55%.
Okay, time is still off.
But it's regrouping. Got Jay Conco back on there. That's in terms of Evie Gallagher's off at number 8.
Yeah.
but Jay Conkle is on and can control that until the end of the red card period. Edie Gallagher won't be allowed back on, but they can put another player back on.
Bryony King is on, wearing 20 for Wales. We don't get to see her play in the Premiership, Siwan. She's been plying her trade as the Brython Thunder captain in the Celtic Challenge. What should we know about her?
She's had an outstanding season for Gwalia Lightning. She's been explosive at the back of the scrum. She's been making line breaks. You know, she work rate, her intent. Probably playing the best rugby I've seen her play this season. So she's rewarded with that. She gets good opportunity now on the field. She's captained Gwalia Lightning exceptionally well throughout the season, so excited to see what she can do on this international field this afternoon.
Yeah, I was hugely impressed. I watched her play for Gwalia too, and hugely impressed. Really explosive.
Okay, time back on.
Rugby, Welsh Rugby League international as well, former captain, so brings something to the side.
She's explosive at the back of the scrum as well, so it's interesting. She has packed down an 8 there.
Yeah, balls up back.
Bevan on to George, who clears
Great kick.
to halfway, almost well handled by McGee. But that's a sensational clearance kick.
Yeah.
She's on the line. Move on. Yeah.
It's a great kick by Flaky George though, wasn't it?
Move
From
on.
deep
She's
inside
always
at
on the
22.
line. It's always in touch.
And both sets of players just at this time, at 62 minutes, just keep calm, keep the thought process going, keep talking to each other. Next play.
Keep the gap, Brad.
Scotland hunting for back-to-back victories over Wales for the first time in 2 decades. Mind you, they rewrote 20 years worth of history when they won in Cardiff last time out.
They've not won at the Hive in the Six Nations. This would be the first time, so that's an aim.
Use it.
Massenson finds Thompson, and Emerald is cleaving through, and Emerald has 2 to beat. Will beat 1. Pulled down by Lewis. Was that high from the open side? Thompson with the show and the go. Clattered. Fearless defensive work from Jazz Joyce, who knows no different. The towering Conkle rises from the wreckage, and Scotland find themselves 2 metres from a score that might just put Wales to bed, that might buy themselves a little bit of desperately needed breathing room. Malcolm with the sachet and the step, keeping it tight after Emerald carved Wales to ribbons. Still short. Inch by inch. Both sides know the importance of this. Scotland go again and will have that try. And it's Leah Bartlett who will register their 3rd and might just have breathed some precious room into that scoreboard.
What an absolutely brilliant passage of play here by Scotland. Look at that offload there. Olympian Lisa Thompson to Emma Orr, not played since November. Ankle injury, but just scything up that defence. And again, the forwards going to work. And replacement prop, Leah Bartlett doing absolutely just a power of work in between the sticks. It was a great carry by Lisa Thompson, and Helen Nelson cannot miss today.
It was a great line by Orr. And a good finish here with the pick and drive. It all started with that line from Orr. Out to in. Thompson just checks the defender, and Orr just comes so tight. Kaylee Powell doesn't have a chance there. Orr's been on fire this afternoon. You wouldn't think that she's been out injured for the last few months, would you?
I know, and Lisa Thompson too, providing amazing support as well.
in a game of inches. George sends that miles. And the clearance isn't bad either.
Kicking battle today's been good. It's an interesting battles. George, Nelson, Thompson.
Yeah, Cleaky George and Hell Nelson, second and third in last year's Six Nations for metres kicked. Only Dana O'Brien outstanding them. She was 2.462, but great kicking by Nelson and George.
It's got even more deafening at the Hive, and that right there is exactly what Katie Massenson was brought on to do. A steady hand at the tiller.
In front.
7 times a red rose. These days playing with a thistle on her chest instead. Rolly starts to move through the gears, finds try scorer Bonner, onto Nelson. Fantastic read in the midfield by Kate Williams. Scotland now really starting to feel it. Ball in hand as McGee decelerates and then goes again. 15 metres from what would be the try bonus point. We weren't even contemplating such matters a few minutes ago. It was all about the results.
Forward. Cross forward.
But yeah, that continuity play by Scotland. At the moment, we're up to 10 offloads. We had it right at the beginning of the second half. There was a passage and then it was turned over, but that was exactly the tactical to break the offloading game, looking for just in the slightly wider channels, not right outside, maybe that 13 channel like Emma, or getting into the 22. And Jade Conkle, there we go, 30 tackles missed for Wales. But Jade Conkle managing to get the ball in the slightly wider channels, bringing her experience to this game.
The counter-attack there from Scotland was exceptional. Jazz Joyce just puts the kick in, middle of the field, but Rawley does so well. Links up, gets the ball wide, McGee's a threat. Their back three have been a threat this afternoon for Scotland, even in these conditions. The counter was good, and this essentially, like you point out, Heather, missed tackles, 30 missed tackles. It's a big number.
Yeah, last year Scotland missed 5 tackles, 97%, and that definitely helped in that win in Cardiff Arms Park last year.
Prison.
Kira Bevan, who has been, and I quote, outstanding since Christmas in Sean Lynn's eyes, both for Bristol and in training this week.
Step out.
Might not quite have got the distance that she wanted on that one, but it has alleviated some pressure, and they need it. They are about to be back up to a full complement, though, because Gwen Crabb is about to come on to replace Georgia Evans. So that red card, a 20-minute variety. Courtney Keats is also stood before us, hands on hips, although now she applauds because that carry has bought Bevan the time and space she needs to make life tough for McGee in the backfield. Neumann
taken back in,
cleaving up and towards the flyer, but Chloe Raleigh bags herself another couple of metres, adds another beaten defender to her tally.
Ball's right there.
It's a great chop by Kate Williams.
What an offload by Conkle.
Another offload for that Matt Banahan-Hune attack. But the ball is knocked on, so Wales will return to 15 players with this fine platform.
Subs. Red 13.
And it's safe to say they need to score here. They need to make this play count.
Yeah, scrum, 15 metres from the touchline, attacking opportunity.
Subs complete. We can have
like you say, Claire. Wales need to score here. 11 minutes left, 10-point game. They score here, they're a player of advantage now. They got one up on Scotland. Can they capitalise? Can they execute? Times like this, it counts.
Time back on.
Gwen Crabb, another one that played in the Celtic Challenge, hat-trick against Glasgow Warriors, proved her fitness, is now gaining only her third match since 2022 for Wales.
King at the base with the footballing ability, and that 6s and 7s clamped over the ball is Nelson. It's a fine strip from the standoff. Belial is in as scrum half, finds Bartlett. She's got company in Bonner and Martin. Thompson flacks that up and over halfway, and Jazz Joyce, eyes alight with mischief. Quickly snuffed out. Scotland not missing many today. 10 points in this one. Scotland haven't managed a try bonus point since Ireland's visit in 2023.
Backward, backward.
Wales are worried about the result, and the result only, and that leaves them very nicely placed.
Just 1 minute ago, I was speaking about them having to take their opportunity. They've got a better attacking spot now.
Come here.
They need to be clean. Just spilt the ball at the back of the scrum of the last scrum.
Let's go! Let's go!
Just make sure we're getting our binds up high on their numbers, yeah? We're not on the arm at all, thank you.
Steam rising from the two packs. And Sean Lynn, the watch is on 72 minutes into his tenure of the country of his birth. He's been dreaming of wearing that tracksuit since this fixture last year, when he was at the Arms Park and he wandered into his kitchen by all accounts and said to his family, I'm going to coach those girls. Via a three-peat with Gloucester Hartbury. They've a way to go yet, but a score here would bring them into losing bonus point territory as King crabs again, pops it back onto Bevan, who's got such wonderful feet. So too does Kayleigh Powell, who is rolling and might just have got that down. No, ball is short, but Wales with so many options to the short side. Pass had to stick.
Going back.
Will come back for the penalty. But Kate Williams was in acres of space to the other side of that breakdown.
Angle.
Desperate defence there by Scotland. Great play there by Wales.
Try-saving tackle, wasn't there? Kayleigh Powell runs a great dominant line. Here we see it. Great line by Powell.
I'm happy to
Who
drive
comes
forward.
in? Conkle.
I don't know what you're saying.
Martin.
Yeah, that's Martin.
Martin does exceptionally well. I thought Kayleigh
Time off.
Powell was in
Play
there.
back on for the 20-minute red.
Wales have got to capitalise now. The clock is ticking.
Yeah, sub 11.
Alex Stewart, who made her debut in this fixture a year ago and had the most sensational of afternoons. 17 out of 17 tackles. But it might be that her first one today is the most important one of the lot. Safely from Gloucester Hartbury player to Gloucester Hartbury player. Kelsey Jones finding Gwen Crabb, and it's another circus member, Kate Williams, who's squirming now. Wales to within inches. Short, meaty stuff. It's abrasive play from a team who pride themselves on their physicality. Have to score. And inches away still. Bodies on the line from both sides. Every blade of painted grass could be the difference here between points in the table and leaving empty-handed. Bevan ships it up and on. Wales have the score! A huge moment from the returning Gwen Purse, with a towering, ballistic carry over the whitewash at the Hive. The game's back on.
Game's on. Closer to the sticks as well, but love the patience from Ciara Bevan and the pack. But Leanne Pearce does exceptionally well to spin out of that and get over the white line. But small little picks and goes to begin with. And then Ciara Bevan finds her pod, finds Gwenny P. We've got a big 5 minutes on our hands.
What a return.
Pinpoint from Bevan. The increasingly soggy flags go up. Five minutes to settle this one. 3 points the difference. Holly Cunningham's afternoon. Her debut is over. She leaves the field of play.
Absolutely excellent debut, well played.
And speaking of debuts, here's another one for Adele Furry, the 27-year-old, who Fraser Brown, Scotland forward coach, said in the week is so important in her very presence here. It's a powerful message. If you perform, there is a genuine route into international rugby. They are finding these talents and they're giving them opportunities. What a moment.
Yeah, teammate with Alex Stewart at Edinburgh and at Corstorphine Cougars. 9 appearances for Edinburgh, and a stalwart for Corstorphine Cougars. Started at university and has come through the ranks of Howe of Fife, Aberdeen University in Morgan, Howe of Fife, and now Edinburgh, and now at the Hive playing for Scotland.
Clear access. Stay back!
It's always a close game. It's always a good game. Wales skipper Hannah Jones just yesterday. We've got a grandstand finish ahead of us and an athlete befitting of that, or with yet another carry. This time, no way through, but what might Chloe Rowley find here? She's got Courtney Keat, newly introduced for company. Massinson. And this now Martin. That one just squirting over the shoulder of tight head Belial, but well hoovered up by Nelson, who's been imperious at points today on both sides of the ball. This all about management now. But that a serious boost for Wales, for Kate Williams and Wales.
Such a competitor, Kate Williams, isn't she? She showed it in Wales's win against Australia at Rodney Parade, and she's doing it here. She's absolutely just a titan at the breakdown and a great awareness. Born in Wales, then went to New Zealand and is now back and just showing her form. Scotland need to keep it tidy.
Well, just to remind you all, game management was decisive in this fixture at the Arms Park last year. Sean Jones on debut, the Welsh scrum half, not involved today, but kicking the ball away with seconds remaining on the fixture to allow Scotland to hoof it from the field of play. We need switched on athletes now, both sides do.
Hold that gap! Red!
Because it was contested, not straight, Scotland get the option of the line out. One of the global law trials being implemented.
Scotland tactically taking their time here.
Slowing things right down. Adele Furry, there she is, the debutante. Brings so much punch, so much battle to proceedings. She's here for her fight. And her fights might just have helped Scotland win the penalty that will help them see this one out. 60 seconds remain. Do they throw the dice? Do they hunt for a bonus point?
Side entry.
It's immaterial because Wales's penalty count is starting to mount.
20 red.
Helen Nelson will look to clear this one. All she needs to do really is find touch here.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was a superb take there by Adele Furry when a line out really counted, and she's been doing it for Edinburgh and doing it for Corstorphine Cougars and able to perform at the highest level. And the Guinness Women's Six Nations Player of the Match is Helen Nelson. 13 kicks in play, but also 1 penalty and 3 conversions. She's not missing today, and she's leading her team, dragging her team to the victory if they can just keep their composure for this last bit.
Well, the composure has paid off because the clock has gone red, but this is about to be all about the women in blue. Kat Roach confirms that the ball can be sent from the pitch in Edinburgh where the stands erupt. Back to back against their fiercest rivals for the first time in 20 years. Alex Stewart hadn't even turned 1 when Scotland last notched consecutive victories in this fixture, which tells you all you need to know about the journey that this group have been on. The tough times, the evolution and the shimmering talents now across their squad. The ramparts, the soggy ramparts of the Hive withstand the first siege of this campaign. As for the Sean Lynn era, he had 6 days to conjure up cohesion, and there were so many green shoots across those 80 minutes. The family have a week to take further strides before they host England, before 10,000 at the Principality, as this lot, well, they head to the south of France for a grudge match with Les Bleus. We told you it would be tight. But at full time in this one, it is Scotland 24, Wales 21.